also have a data backup. The system backup is, like Cam, you were saying that you use Time Machine. And Time Machine, if it's set up correctly, is a system backup. And on occasion, with a Mac, Macs do slow down after time. They slow down because they get cluttered, and just like Windows machines do. And I have rebuilt Windows machines and Mac machines. And by rebuilt, I don't mean the physical rebuilding of the machine. I just mean the restoring of the data. And Time Machine, in my opinion, is a phenomenal package. It does a great job. About every 2 years, I will actually scratch my entire system, my entire Mac, get it down to where it was when I first got it, with all of the system upgrades. Then I will restore it from Time Machine, and I've got my Mac back. I've got everything that's on my Mac. But I actually don't have any photos stored on the Mac itself. They're all stored on the NAS device and on the other backups. The only thing that is on my Mac is the catalog. The Lightroom catalog. Because you're right, all your edits are there. You've got two pieces. You've got the raw file, of which is actually never touched. If you use Lightroom as your basis. And then you've got all of those edits. And all of the edits are like transactions, and the transactions are recorded in the Lightroom catalog. So the catalog itself is just as important as your raw files. And as you said before, they work together to actually produce the final image. But it's really every person that has any. I've got about 72,000 images, and I mean that's over a long period of time. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely necessary that you back up. If you don't have a scenario to back up, find somebody to help you set it up. I strongly advise getting a NAS device. They are really not that expensive. I have a two drive Synology. I've got two 6 terabyte drives in there in a RAID. So if one of the drives fails, I just pull that drive out and put in a new one, and it rebuilds itself from the first one. Hmm. So, and that happens to me. I mean, the backup process happens automatically. I don't have to do anything. And the only time that I separate data, and then I parse it up, between my work stuff and my pictures and music and videos and that kind of stuff. The only time that I parse those up is that, like with pictures, I do keep a couple of extra separate USB drives where I do update them like once every couple of months, and that's a manual edit. But when I hook them to my Mac, it's all part of a cloud backup system as well. So my Mac is backed up, the USB drives are backed up, the Synology drive is backed up every night at about 1 or 2 in the morning. And then when it backs up, I have the Synology eject that backup drive, so it's not online at all times. I have it shut down the Synology. And then when it reboots in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, it will reboot. It will that USB drive that is attached to it that does the backup comes online, and it's all done. It's all done automatically, and it does an incremental backup from the Synology drive to that USB drive, and then once that USB drive, once the backup process is complete, it ejects that drive. So it's not online. So I've got, I have a pretty involved system, and it's.
You hire yourself out.
But it's easy. It's really. I mean, if somebody.
Yeah, Mark, you're really doing what I do too. Only you have different names.
Exactly.
We're using some different words, but we're doing
exactly.
Right.
Yep, you are. We are. We are doing very much the same thing.
Peter, I know you've got yourself covered. So what do you do?
Well, it's a little different, I guess, because I run a PC instead of a Mac. But
Okay.
yeah, it's somewhat. I think the other concept to keep. I think Mark did a very nice job. I think it's Mark, right?
Yes.
There's backing up your system, which I don't really worry too much about. I can reinstall the system and reinstall the software. It's the data that's
Right.
what's irreplaceable, or and so I'm much more concerned about backing up the data than I am about the system. I do have a system backup, but I'm not particularly
Right.
about that.
Absolutely. That's correct. Yeah.
So, in my, it's again, the other thing is you will lose your data if it's not backed up. It may be tomorrow, next week, or next year, but sooner or later it's going to happen.
You will.
So if you're not backed up and you have a problem, look at the mirror for who to blame. So in my case, again, I use the three, sort of as Mark and Shannon have said. I have, well, for one thing, I use a desktop computer, not a laptop. So that gives me more options in terms of having drives available. My main, so my entire photo catalog, because that's what I carry about the most. One, it's all a single catalog in Lightroom. It's up to about 116,000 photos at the moment. Although I'm trying to prune back, but so that's on one large, I think at the moment it's a 6 terabyte drive. There is a second, I have an external drive reader, which has a spinning drive. So the main catalog in the computer is a spinning drive. The backup that I have outside, it's actually a USB 3 drive dock. So you just plug in a bare hard drive. And so that gets backed up. And then there's a third drive, which is stored. When I was working, it was stored at my office. Now it's stored at my storage facility. But anyway, someplace off-site. Doesn't have to be a bank, but just someplace that's not the same house. Again, so then I use a program called Free File Sync. It's essentially a sync software. So like Cam was saying, it reads any changes, any deletions you make, it makes the delete and the backup. It copies new files, updates new files, whatever. I know people use cloud stuff. I haven't done that for the most part because, at least to me, that's awfully slow to upload. And then if you ever have to download it, it can take days, I think. And so as long as I have the 3 copies, I'm not particularly concerned about that. I keep the backup copy. It's not automated, as it's something I do every Sunday religiously. Or if it's something more important, I'll do it more often than that. Yeah. And I think in terms of backup, for my day-to-day, my last 2 years, complicate things a little bit. I actually have a 1 terabyte solid state drive in the computer. That's kind of what my current working photos are. So that gives a lot more. If you try and run Lightroom with your raw files off of something like a NAS, there is a performance hit. So I like to keep, what I'm working on physically attached in the computer. And I actually use, so my most recent files for the last couple of years are actually on an SSD that's in the computer itself. But that gets backed up regularly as well. So that's kind of my system. Just when Erin, if you remember, her husband was an IT guy, and I was talking with him about this network attached storage. He preferred Synology to Drobo, just for what it's worth. But
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else do something similar to either Shannon or Mark or Peter with like this network attached kind of stack?
When you're ready to hear from someone at the other extreme, let me know.
Yeah, we will. We're getting there. Okay, Gundars, are you still here?
Yes.
He is? Okay.
Oh,
Gundars.
I'm sorry. No.
Oh, yeah, there you are. Gundars, do you do something similar to all of that?
Yeah, I have two Synology 5-drive systems, and then they have backups on both. Since one of the Synologies, the power supply could go, and always things like that. I had lightning hit the house, or hit the cable one time some years ago, and thankfully my computer blew up, but my drives were still there. So after that, I've tried to make sure I have multiple drives, multiple systems. But there is an issue if you keep the drives attached. If you get a power surge, they could all go at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be, just because you have all the drives, multiple drives, doesn't mean that you have multiple security.
Right.
Yeah, with me, there is only one live system, or one system. One of the, I kind of identify the Synology as the live one, but so all of the backups are never on the system at any at the same time, unless certainly they're being backed up to. Peter, just like you, I do keep my current stuff on the Mac itself. It has a 1 terabyte SSD in it. I don't keep months or even years on there. I only keep the ones that I'm currently working on, and then once I'm finished with those, then I move those offline to the Synology to protect it, as well as you put it on the system to increase the speed. But you're right. You're right.
Somebody else want to talk about or have a question at this point about what you do? Or we'll go.
I'm Rudy,
Hi, Rudy.
and I do one thing just a little different, and that is before I put my camera away, I back up my SD card to a DVD drive. And the DVD drive I have is battery powered, so I can take it with me in the field. So before I leave a job or someplace that and no longer have the setup available, I'm able to put all of my images, which are raw images, and this then the disc becomes my quote unquote digital negative, and that is a separate storage away from everything else. And should anything happen to anything that's on my computer or my laptop or anything like that, I just go back to my file, which is in a month's time, and I can reload those images or just get the images, and they're as close to the camera as I can get. Now, unfortunately, due to technology, I'm limited to 2 gigabytes worth of storage on the portable hard drive, and the storage capability on the medium format Mamiya back I have is also limited to 2 gigabytes. So that is my standard, is 2 gigabytes is the size of the chips. That gives me 50 images in the medium format and about 150 images on my DSLR. So I'm standardized around that, and I can't tell you the number of times that having that storage of DVDs or CD-ROMs, either one, has saved my bacon. So that would be the only thing. And then, you can be as complex as you want in terms of having NAS storage and things of that nature. It's just what you're comfortable with. But one of the things I also do is I have a laptop which has Lightroom, and I also have a desktop which has Lightroom, and I have 2 separate contracts with a cloud storage. And so the laptop is backed up on itself, and the cloud storage for the desktop is backed up under its own agreement. And so it's 2 separate places, and that's also proved to be invaluable due to the crazy nature of hardware, software, things that happen. And I'm PC based. Thanks.
Interesting. I was thinking about all those years ago when we were storing things to floppy disks, and if that's how, we were still storing, or you needed to recover something, it's difficult. They say that all of our methods of storage, 30 years from now may not be readable by whatever it is
Oh, yes.
we need to use later. So, Shannon's old negatives, we can still at least hold those up to the light and do something with digitizing those. But as far as you do take a gamble in not knowing what might be readable or not readable. Like, I don't have a VHS tape, a VCR anymore. So to watch an old wedding video, I'd have to have it converted. So anyway, yes.
You can
Yeah,
call
well,
my
that's the nice thing about digital is you can always transfer to new formats. So yeah, when
Cam.
CDs go away, then you can put them on spinning drives, and then you can put them on SSD drives, and who knows what 10 years from now. But yeah,
Right.
you do need to keep refreshing that as
Keep up
technology.
with the technology. Yes, Doris.
If you need VHS tapes,
No, I don't. You have a VCR.
Yes, we do.
Well, if my daughter ever wants to see her wedding video again, I'll come see you. Okay, so Doris, now, since you had the floor anyway, tell us your other extreme. So is it what you don't do, or what's going on?
I'm a piker. First of all, I don't keep a lot of images. I have maybe 4,000, and that's probably being liberal.
Wow.
If I haven't touched something, edited something in, say, 4 or 5 years, it's gone, destroyed. The only exception are family images or travel images, but beyond that, they're gone. If I haven't done anything in 4 or 5 years, I'm not going to do anything.
Wow.
I back up things to the cloud.
How do you
And-
do? Which cloud do you use, and how do you do that?
iCloud.
Okay, and it happens automatically because you have some sort of setup. Okay, iCloud. And have you reached its limit where it says you now need to pay so much per month for it?
Yeah, but it's only 99 cents.
Right. Okay.
I'm paying $10, $11 a month for Lightroom and
For Lightroom anyway.
Photoshop. So
Have you ever had to go back and get something from the cloud and bring it back down?
no, so far.
Okay.
And then I also back them up to, this is photographs. I back up to an external hard drive that I
Uh-huh.
keep here at the house. And then about 5, 6 times a year, I'll go get the one out of the bank vault, the safety deposit box at the bank, and bring it home and back up the things that haven't been backed up to it, put it back in the bank.
Do you
That's
just
pretty-
drag and drop for your backup? Is that what you do?
Mhm.
With 4,000 or so photos, I think the drag and drop is okay, but I tried it once when I had like, I don't know, 50, 60,000, and it just didn't. It hung up and it stalled, and it just wasn't able to. I needed a program that specialized in copying and
Well, I only do the drag and drop on the most recent things.
okay, so you're not doing the whole batch of.
No.
Okay. All
And
right.
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Good. Does anybody else use a cloud storage, just in general?
I have Lightroom. I use Lightroom, and since I'm a subscriber, it syncs it up to the cloud up there, and I have that storage. Also, for some reason, Amazon keeps on backing up my photos, and I'm not sure why, but it does do that.
Because
Yeah.
you have Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
and if you have the Amazon Photos app, it's wonderful. I have already, it says free unlimited storage. I
Yeah.
let it back up just my phone and my iPad images. I
that's what it's
take
pretty much.
photos with my phone, but I edit with my iPad. And
Mhm.
both of those get backed up to Amazon Prime. And so far, my monthly report says I have 55 gigabytes of photos there. And I'm testing the limits of free, unlimited
Yeah.
storage.
Yeah, but that's pretty much. I do have SSD drives that I back up the photos to, and then I have it in a safety box, a fireproof box, and that's kept in. It used to be kept in my office, like now that I'm not working at that office anymore, I'm working from home now. It's in the trunk of my car.
Oh, a really safe place.
Well, you know,
Portable storage.
it goes down there, and if I need to get it back, I go down and
Right.
And what if somebody takes your car?
yeah. If someone steals my car, yes, I'm in deep trouble. But
Well, only if you
but
need
as I said, I have it backed up several places. I also have a network drives that are stored in a different location that I can access. They're Western Digital, I think it is, or something like that. Kind of drives. I have about 8 terabytes. So,
Okay.
but I don't have as many photos as you guys. Boy, wow! I thought I was doing great with about 36,000, but
Well, for a while I was shooting HDR and that was like 5 images per shot, and then it just eats up. And then of course, as photo files get bigger and bigger and bigger with these sensors, it's just
my camera files are in the 40 meg size now, and I'm going, whoa.
too much. Vicki, what do you do?
Hi. Well, I do a little bit of everything. I started obviously a while ago with DVDs. I still have most of my family pictures on those DVDs, and I think they're gonna stay there. And then I use external hard drives. I have several. Some are solid state, some are older ones. And recently I bought at Costco, like everybody, but I got the 8 terabyte one, thinking that I can now start cleaning up from one place to another and then kind of like organize everything a little bit better. I'm a little bit crazy with my pictures, in the sense that they are disorganized somewhat. So I was thinking that with the 8 terabyte, I can use it to put everything there, and then, just like erase, clean my computer completely and clean other things completely, and then back up stuff. So I do not have any software to do that, to organize automatically. So right now it's just, I'm doing manually most of it, because I'm also trying to get rid of stuff that, like you say, with Doris, like you say, things that I haven't touched in many years, things that, with digital, we have so many pictures that really, why do we have them? It's just kind of like hoarding pictures, right? So I am still trying. I'm in the process. So of getting rid of stuff and clear up the thousands and thousands of pictures. I don't have a clue of how many pictures I have, but but nothing super, technologically savvy.
There's so many options out there that it's confusing. And if you don't have a good handle on the terminology, it can really overwhelm you. And that's what I found. That's why I just went back to the company that I had before, that I knew I liked them, and I just bit the bullet and said, I'm going to buy you again. I'm not even going to research it.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding out maybe I should have gone a different route. Maybe I should be a little bit more technologically savvy about this. But.
Yeah, exactly. And, I get and I understand everything that they are saying, and I'm trying to write down things just to see if I can find something that works for me, that can help me with all these organization, because at this point, and I moved so many times, being in the military, that everything, I remember moving with cases of all of my CDs, and those were coming with me, because I was always afraid that they were going to get lost and pictures were going to get, and now that I'm here for good, it's a mess. So hopefully I'll be able to, to organize everything soon, or I'll go crazy completely.
Yeah. Okay, Andrew, how about you?
Well, I have a mix of the old and the new.
Okay.
I had about 14,000 slides,
Mm.
and and I put them in, plastic holders and in 3-ring binders, all of them that closed up and were supposed to be photo neutral. And that worked very well. It's an old-fashioned, I was shooting slides for decades. The downside, of course, is anything in Ektachrome has almost faded away.
Mm.
And only the Kodachromes have remained their original vibrance. So I have started the process, and then moved, and it stopped, of having them copied. And that's expensive and slow, but I've got about half of them now on CDs. And I have been moving the CDs into a Western Digital RAID 2 terabyte drive. And most of my now digital work is either on that or a second the original Western Digital is a disc. The second one is SSD, and I've picked up a couple of small, they're much smaller, but they're every bit as big in terms of their storage capability, and they're a fraction of the price. Storage has become so inexpensive. So I've moved, well, one step that might be helpful. I thought of everything as an old-fashioned file cabinet. And so by either a family event or location or topic or whatever, I have files, and then I have sub-files. So you go into a file that's labeled, well, I've got one that's working, that's labeled airplanes. Mm-hmm. And I have 30 years of airplane images in that file. I've kept the originals, but I have in mind putting one of those photo books together about airplanes. And I was intrigued to hear that the B-17 is going to be around. I've been to that several times, and it's very enjoyable, and lots of great photos. So just like an old-fashioned file cabinet, I can go to a file folder, and inside the file folder for airplanes, I might have World War I, and then World War II, and then jet aircraft, or whatever I've got that intrigued me and caused me to take the pictures. And so that's my storage and referral system, and it's backed up on one of the small drives that is unfortunately still kept at home. I really should think about putting them somewhere else. But the 2 Western Digital drive, one an old-fashioned disc and one a digital drive, is what I work from. And I'm not sure that's the best arrangement now, listening to the ideas of, store it immediately and then set it aside and then work from a drive for doing your editing and so forth. And so I have some work to do based on these conversations, but it's moving in the right direction, I think.
Good. Always more to learn and more to buy.
Oh God, I can't keep up with it.
Agneta, how about you? She's turning on her mic.
Yeah, since I'm a beginner.
Right.
First, I want to just make sure when you're talking about Lightroom and backup, it's constantly asked me to back up. Do I keep all the backups, or can I keep the latest backup?
You can keep the last couple of backups, and you can delete older backups. There's
Okay,
no problem
okay.
with that.
So then another thing, when I've taken a picture with my camera, what I do, I upload it into the computer, and then I transfer the images, the raw images, to my external drive.
Good.
Is that different compared to take the card and upload it? Because I heard that someone said they take the card and put it into the external drive right away. I have it through the computer, and then I drag it into the
He was talking about a portable
Things for
external
network
drive that
with.
he can take out in the field with
It's
him
everybody's network.
and attach it that way and
Hmm.
copy the photos in the field. Yours is attached to your computer. So yes,
Yeah.
you should store the photos there as well. But if you just let Lightroom upload them, do you have a Mac or a PC?
I have a PC.
Okay, typically though, when you just insert your card and Lightroom imports them, it imports them into the pictures folder of your computer. And sometimes people just stop there and don't continue. You are also putting them on a second drive,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
You are
But
making.
I only have one
original.
drive. I only have one drive. So I'm thinking about buying a new computer PC because the one that I bought was for travel, and then I started getting to the photography, and now everything is jam-packed. I don't have any more space.
Right.
So I will probably buy a desktop, a new PC desktop, and to see, you know, if I can improve my space. And so
It's
When you're
also,
ready- when
it's
you're
also really,
to
sorry.
do this, to get another computer, you know, you can come back to ask us again or ask some people in this conversation about
Yeah.
what next should I do to
exactly,
make
you
sure
know,
that my photos are safe and to move them from where I have them to a safe storage.
yeah. Based on all this information, there's a lot of things to learn.
There is. There is. Did
I
I would
anybody
say you
want to
don't
give-
need any space on your computer to store images.
What?
You do not need any space on your computer to store images.
No, you
I don't have
need
any
them
of
on
stored
your-
on my computer. I have actually three drives, two external drives attached to the computer. And all my images are stored on one of them and copy on the other.
Right.
And a third one outside somewhere else, but none of them are on the computer. You don't need
No,
space.
it's the same thing for me, but my computer was like a travel computer, is the 13-inch in Lenovo, and you know, just adding the apps, it filled the storage in the computer.
Right.
I can, for now, when I use the Photoshop, I cannot do it because it's not enough storage space.
All right. Then you need a new computer
Yeah.
or more memory.
Exactly. I need a new computer.
You need more of a workhorse. Yes.
Yeah.
Stephanie, what do you do? Turning.
Well, I'm probably on the bottom here as far as technology goes. And you're going to laugh when I tell you. I mean, I put them on the computer from the card. I do have a backup drive, which I should remember to run, and I've already made a note to run it again to back them up. And then my old camera only could take a 2 gig card. It was a Nikon D50.
Is
and
that
it
what
would
you're
only-
shooting with?
That was I was shooting with. I have every card I ever shot with.
Ah.
I saved the cards. That's all. That's real. Oh, and I put them in on a CD too. But I saved all until I got this new Nikon, and now I'm up to however thousands of pictures. I'm not going to do that anymore, but I do have my old cards.
Oh my.
Stephanie, don't worry. I've been doing that myself. I keep all the cards. Yeah. Well, I mean, when they're only 2 gigs, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
you
a
can't even
question.
get a 2 gigabyte card anymore.
No, you can't. That's why I had to get a new camera.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
God.
Doris. What did you say, Doris?
I was just going to say, I have a question.
Okay, good.
People were talking about storing things to a CD. I don't have
Yes.
a system that will read a CD.
Yes, I
So
agree.
how do you deal with that?
Well, when I got my new computer, I told the guy, I said I had to have one. I
Okay.
had to have a reader.
I have an external
her.
CD.
Plug in one. You can
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
a plug in one.
Yes, I have one of those that I use because my new laptop, it doesn't even have a card reader. I have to
Yeah, I had to buy one of those too, extra.
plug in for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is an attachment now. on
Exactly.
Macs, at least. Yes.
I have a PC.
Okay, so Howard, welcome to the party.
I'm sorry I got waylaid. Late dinner tonight.
It's okay. So others at the beginning were talking about network attached storage with Synology or a Drobo or some sort of array. And I imagine that's you, backed up every which way to Sunday to all these externals. Do you also have any type of cloud storage or offsite storage?
For large things like videos, yes. But as far as my pictures are concerned, it's all right here at my fingertip. 2 external drives and a third one in my storage bin. But all of the storage is right here, except I found a website called pCloud, which gives you unlimited storage capability and no cost. Fantastic.
Okay.
So when I was doing, pardon me?
No, that's interesting. pCloud, you said?
pCloud, yeah. Unlimited. I think it's in England, but who cares? It doesn't matter. When I was doing videos for Frederick Community College or a course and storing a video, I had to put it someplace so the students could access it. And I found, when searching around, I could not put them on Dropbox. They were too big. I couldn't put them on the one that I used, the box, because it was exceeding the capacity there. You couldn't load more than 10 gigabytes at a time or something like that, and these were 100 gigabytes, so that you just couldn't put it on there. So I was looking for a place that had unlimited storage, and pCloud turned out to be one of the best that I could find, and certainly the right price.
pCloud?
P, yes, P.
Okay,
you know,
pCloud.
MNOP.
Yeah, pCloud.
pCloud.
P as in Peter or Paul. Okay,
Peter,
great.
yep.
Unlimited storage. Huh.
Mhm.
Well, so does Amazon Prime, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't paid them my $100.
Well, see, I take advantage of all the other stuff that they offer too, besides just the free shipping. So the books, the music, the yeah, especially the books. So
Can I just ask a question about Amazon Prime?
sure.
How do you store how do you get the photos to it?
There's an app, and you just tell it to, whenever it connects to Wi-Fi, it goes into your photos library and uploads them. So when I'm outside, you know, I'm on data on LTE or 4G or 3G or whatever, it doesn't back up then. But as soon as I walk in the house and I'm on my Wi-Fi, as long as my phone is on or active, it just backs it up. So I'll just click on the app and it'll say, you know, uploading, you know, 300 photos to Amazon Prime. So I went to Amazon Prime one time because I needed a photo and I was traveling somewhere and I wanted to wish someone a happy birthday and I wanted to use a certain file, I don't know, butterfly photo or something, and I didn't have it with me. So I went to Amazon Prime and there were all my folders just like they are on my iPad. So I had my favorites were there and my recents were there and my logos were there and everything that I had organized was mirrored on Amazon Prime. So that's what I do for my phone and iPad photos. I don't put my computer photos there, but I like
the Prime, is it the app? Is it because I have the Amazon.
Photos.
Oh, Amazon Photos.
Photos.
Okay.
Photos.
Okay. All right.
The Photos app.
That is similar to what Google does.
But Google has a limit of 15 gigabytes, and then you have to start paying. Whereas at Amazon, if you've paid your $119 for your free shipping and your books and your music and all the other, and your streaming video that you get, if you have paid that, it's part of your benefit. So I take advantage of everything that Amazon offers as far as, so I do the streaming video at home. That's about all I ever watch. I have like 5 channels. I have the most basic Comcast you can get. I pay $103 a month for internet, phone, and cable. And then I watch Amazon Prime, and then I read the books like crazy. So, and I use the music, and I don't pay any extra for any of that.
Amazon Music is excellent.
Yeah. And I don't do the music unlimited either. I just do the what's there in music, and it's plenty for me. And Alexa keeps me company. She gives me somebody to talk to during the day besides Zoom meetings. That's why I have so many, because I need people to talk to. All right, so Lois, I see Lois is on here, but I haven't seen Lois's face or heard Lois's voice. Hey,
Hi, everybody. I'm Lois, and my camera doesn't work on my on the computer, so that's why you can't see me. You can hear me.
Tell us what you do for storage.
Okay. Well, I have an iMac, and it's fairly new, and I use a Backup Time Machine. Oh no, I have the Time Machine. Then I use Backup Plus hard drive. And after listening to you all, I went and found it and just put it back in my computer because I hadn't used it in about a month. So then I have a 3 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive that I use for photographs. And that's it.
So
well,
they are getting backed up periodically, or when you
Yeah.
remember to plug it in and tell it to do it.
Yeah, well, I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Time Machine does it too.
Yeah.
But Time Machine has its issues, and it doesn't exactly mirror things exactly the way, I don't know. Anyway, so I think the moral of this whole story is we all need to be doing something. It's better than doing nothing. To make multiple copies, whether you have a copy physically in a hard drive or physically or not physically, digitally on the cloud somewhere, or a combination thereof. You need to run it regularly, and you need to back up not only just your photos, but perhaps your system, and maybe your music and your videos, and in my case, my documents. And you know, I laugh when I see these TV ads for these little thumb drives that they say, plug it in your computer and it'll find all of your photos and store them for you. And it's like,
Yeah, right.
maybe 1 gigabyte. I'd need, oh gosh, no, that's not going to work for us.
And there's
So,
something else I would add.
sure.
Besides what things are stored on, how the backup works.
Okay.
I have a software package called GoodSync, GoodSync. And that runs all of the time when the computer is on. So if I'm working on a photo, as soon as I save the photo, it gets transferred. The copy goes to the extra drive. And it just runs continuously. It also backs up my documents too. So on these hard drives, you have all of my photos and all of my documents as backup, and it just runs continuously all the time.
Mhm.
And it looks for the drive that's off in my storage bin. So when I turn the computer on, it immediately says, "Hey, where's drive C?" Well, or F, some other number to C. C's on the machine all the time.
Right.
But some other number. So I'm reminded every time I turn the machine on, you better go backup.
Good.
So the software was GoodSync,
That's right.
and is that PC or Mac based?
I'm using it on a PC, but I suspect it works on a Mac as well.
No, I have a PC. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
Okay.
It certainly does
Good
on
thing.
a PC.
Thank you.
Right.
But that's just wonderful software. I think I've seen courses on that by, who's the guy that sends out his Tim Gray, Message Every Day. I think he's a strong supporter of GoodSync.
Mhm. Marshall, do you have anything to add?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just can't see me.
No.
Oh, that's good.
I have the participants list up so I can see who's
Oh,
there.
no, I just have, I have some external drives, and I keep 1 year on my hard drive of the images. So right now, as 2020 comes to a close, as soon as that gets over with, I'll put that on drive and start 2021 on my hard drive. But the rest of them go into external drives. And, you know, as you probably know anyway, the Lightroom, you know, when I pull stuff into Lightroom, it goes right to, it goes to the external drive. So that's basically all I do. And I have probably by year, probably 5 external drives, anywhere from 3 terabytes to 5 terabytes. So it's nothing fancy, but you know. And also I got Amazon Prime for my iPads, like you do, and telephone, and I get keep those, make sure they're updated on the cloud. So I'm probably not that concerned about it. I should be. Not as concerned as I should be.
I'd say the way 2020 is going, you should back up that drive right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
gosh.
I might get a little more serious as time goes on. But I'm hearing some good stuff tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
So that's
I think we've learned some great lessons tonight. Does anybody have a horror story to share?
Just have another question.
Okay.
So would I know that there seems to be a lot of different backup system, but for instance, with the Durbo that I saw, you could buy one that 4 backup in the same unit. Would that be enough, or would you think that it's better to have different type of backups?
I don't know the
I
answer.
have a answer to that.
When you said 4, did you mean like a NAS device that has 4 different drives in it?
Yeah.
No, you should, a NAS device, well, all of those drives, well, let me back up a second. Those drives, when they mirror each other, they're in what's known as a RAID. And I would not consider a RAIDed disk array a backup. It will protect your live data well, but I wouldn't consider that a backup. You should also have it off on an external storage, like a USB storage or a USB drive, or a cloud-based. And it's, you know, when we're talking about backing up images, if Lightroom is your basis for editing and cataloging, it is really critical that you back up that that Lightroom catalog just as much as your images, as your raw files. Now, in one of the processes that I do in my workflow is that after I am finished with, you know, a shoot of some sort, I will always have at least three images per raw file. I have the raw file itself, then I have a virtual image of the raw file, because when I do my edits, it's just a habit that I create a virtual copy and then make all of the edits to the virtual copy, not to the raw. It really doesn't matter that much, but that's just a habit that I get into. And then the ones that I actually keep, I do create a JPEG of the final with all of the edits. So even if I lost the catalog, I would always have one image that had all of the edits in there. But it's really critical that you back up that catalog as well, and then keep that catalog in multiple places, just like you do your raw files. It's really important.
That's a good point, because my friend, his whole Lightroom catalog got corrupted.
Yep.
And he had probably 3 years, and he shoots owls and puffins and birds galore, and he comes back with 500-600 images per shoot, and he shoots at least daily.
Yeah.
And so he has thousands and thousands, and he never once backed up his Lightroom catalog.
Oh my.
And his catalog was corrupt. So we were able to go back to all of his original images and reload them into Lightroom, but all because I had taught him an organization method for storing his photos on an external drive apart from the catalog, where the catalog was, but the catalog itself got corrupted. So I said, so he called me to his house, and I said, okay, let's go to a backup date and restore from there. there was nothing. He had
Yeah.
never once. So we found an old Lightroom catalog that he had originally a real mess of his files. So we found an old Lightroom catalog that was about 2 years old, and we just found it and imported into it. But it was a mess. And it was
I keep multiple copies of my catalogs as well. I will keep, Kim, as you had said, I usually keep probably about a dozen, of the current file. But then almost at the end of every month, I will take one of those copies of the catalog and just copy it off. Because when you back up a file, you're backing it up for protection against multiple things. One certainly is a hardware failure, or that someone steals it, actually steals your hard drive or something. But the one that I am most concerned is the idiot that is actually copying and keeping those files, because I have, as we've heard some examples here, many people will accidentally delete all of their images. And that's for me, that's really the most important reason, because we all do dumb stuff once in a while, unintentionally. So you kind of try to make it, you try to protect yourself from the idiot within.
My biggest idiot was when idiot moment was when I used to do a daily photo walk. And in 2012 to 2013, I walked every single day, and I blogged, and I took photos, and I blogged, and I edited the photos, and I wrote a blog. And I had thousands and thousands of photos. And then I got the new Mac. So I was busy copying from the old PC hard drive to the new Mac hard drive, and copying everything over, and copying. And I was pretty sure I had everything all copied. And then I deleted the PC, the information off the PC, and I didn't have that whole year of photos. Now I had the edited blogs and the final edits, but all of my photos were gone from that whole year. So I've learned now I should do that. I'm lazy. That's my problem. And then I don't really want to fight the whole technology thing and understand it. So it's nice to hire someone if need be to get you set up and teach you what to do. It's worth the money if you can't figure it out yourself.
Well, that's why I said when I was talking the first time, is that you really have to make it an automatic process, so that you don't have to manage it. You just let the system handle it for you.
Yeah.
Because it gets done.
Don't use Lightroom. The world is much simpler.
Howard, you and your
I'm serious. You guys have more damn trouble with this Lightroom. I never have any of that trouble.
Oh God.
I'm so glad I never, ever, ever went to subscriptionware. I have never touched Lightroom at all. And you all have given me all the reasons in the world to never, ever do it.
I feel like this is a
My gal.
discussion now.
You're right. Lightroom is a abomination.
All the Adobes, the non-Adobes here.
I'm a Lightroom user, but I also use On1 RAW. But I found out that with their latest update, the 2020 whatever version 0.2 or something like that, it won't work on my laptop. It comes up and then it crashes. It just an edit. So I've sent them messages after messages. I said, hey, I'm a subscriber. What's going on here? Why did I subscribe? I've actually gone back to 2019, and that works fine. And and it's I have two brand new Alienware computers that it just won't work. But one thing I want to say about Lightroom is that if you are a Lightroom user, make sure that in your catalog settings, you've set up to back up the XML file,
XMP.
XMP files.
That's right.
Because if you don't do that, it's not backing that.
That's right. That's right.
That's for your edits.
Yeah, that information is actually in the catalog. But if you set it so that it creates the XMP file, all of those edited transactions are in the XMP file as well.
Right.
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
right.
Cam,
All
I'm
right.
not an Adobe hater, but what I won't do is subscriptionware. I refuse to do it. And I got started using Photoshop Elements back around version 3 or 4, and it came with Bridge, which was a wonderful photo manager. It let you set everything up the way you wanted it. It didn't mess with you. Elements didn't mess with your original raw file. Whatever file you opened, it didn't change it. It made changes to whatever file was in working memory, and then if you saved as, there you went. It would always ask you if you wanted to keep the changes to the original file. Well, I've been using Elements all along, and it's absolutely fine for what I do. I love it. But when I got the latest Mac a couple years ago, I went to, I've got a nice big 27-inch and it is just lovely. But the new Elements as of 2018, it did not ship with Bridge. Bridge went. And okay, so no, I'm not going subscriptionware. Darn you, Adobe, you took away my Bridge, but I'm not going to do subscriptionware. So I went looking around for a separate downloadable licensable photo manager, and I'll tell you, the one I got is Photo Mechanic, and it is more than I will ever need or use, but boy, is it wonderful, and I love it. So I still miss Bridge, but I'm learning the ins and outs of Photo Mechanic.
Note made. Good. Well, you can do a little talk on Photo Mechanic after you've.
No, I'm barely scratching the surface on Photo Mechanic. It is definitely set up for the big time, photojournalists who travel around the world and are uploading. They have multiple photographers, each with multiple cameras on a job. This is how they manage this stuff. There are ways to input all your keywords for the big time online professional photographers who are in the whatever they're using. It'll automatically tell the keyword uploader in their search engine features to, okay, use my keyword file, and they're all there, and get it all set up in Photo Mechanic, and the professionals got a big head start. It's terrific for that. That is not me, but I wanted something to have on board that I paid a license fee for, that was not subscriptionware, was not going to suddenly require that I upgrade my whole computer so the latest thing in the cloud would run. No, I'm not all about that. But there are a lot of things to love about Photo Mechanic. So, but I'm barely scratching the surface. Your best bet is to go find one of their tutorial marketing videos on it, because I'm not the one who's going to give you that depth of information.
That would be another good Monday night topic is photo software or things that you like to use apart from Adobe products. So I know Howard has some favorites that he likes to use.
HDPC is very much like Photo Mechanic, except that it also gives you a very high quality editing capability. So you have not only the ability to manage your photos, but to edit them as well.
Mm-hmm. That'd be another good Monday night discussion topic. Any final thoughts or parting thoughts? Or I did record this session, so it's been very enlightening. I like these little Monday night chats because it's something that we don't have a formal speaker, but it's great to share and go back and forth with information, and you can check into the topic or not. So I appreciate everybody's input. I hope that you've learned something. I know I have. And may a hard drive or external drive or SD card never fail you.
All right.
Or corrupt a catalog. All right. I'm going to call an end to this meeting. I don't have a gavel, but
thank you.
I think we're good.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. End meeting.